You got this. Let me try to see if we're showing up here. Let's see.
Yeah, it looks like we're live.
It does look like we're live. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Hey, everybody.
Hello. My first time hosting oh, hi, Debbie. And we
Hey,
have
Debbie.
Billy, Little Zen Crone, and we have Jamie, Wandering Mountain Bardic Path. Hello. So yeah, your crew's here. Your crew is here. That's awesome.
Oh, the notification just went out that we're live.
Okay. And I see Regina. Hi, Regina.
Hey, Regina.
Jen. Aw, that's great. Because I know this is a tricky time for people, like a tricky date and time. So I wasn't sure. But your crew is here to support you. Okay.
All the cool people showed up.
All the cool people showed up. So everyone can hear us okay, hopefully. Oh, hi, Kristen.
Hey, Kristen.
Hello. Thanks for joining. Hi, Artsy Girl Marilyn. Let us know if there are any sound issues. Hi, Gerald.
Hey, Gerald.
Wow. Okay. So, welcome to this casual conversation with Zane. This is my first ever interview hosting, so we'll see how this goes.
Thank you so much for having me, and I feel honored. Like you said backstage, yes. I feel honored.
Well, so I will have y'all already know his channel and his sellers page on MPC. So, but for anybody coming in, hi, Allison, Tech Coven. I will leave all of the info and links in the description. But if you have any questions for Zane, please use caps or tag me, and I will do my best. I will do my best to try to catch everything. StreamYard is still a little bit like new to me, so just an FYI. But yeah, thank you for agreeing to come on. It was a very impulsive request, but I was just so excited about your new tarot deck. And when I was watching your flip through and kind of reading the description about how you created the deck, I was like, wow, he creates his decks like I create mine. We have a very similar creation process. And then on top of that, your deck has elephants in it, which was the clincher. So
that's awesome because the elephant cards are some of my favorite cards.
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard to find. I feel like it's hard to find decks with a lot of elephants in it, especially like tarot decks.
Right. Unless it's like specifically like, the elephant tarot.
Yeah. But then usually that's like, Ganesh.
Right.
Or, it's not. So that would be one day maybe we'll get a deck like that. But in any case, so okay. So do you want to start off by telling us a little bit about yourself? Now I will say Zane and I are both Lancaster homies. That's another reason why I wanted to talk to you.
We are.
Yeah.
Small world.
I know. Okay. So.
All right. So I am Zane. I'm from, like she said, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. More specifically, I grew up in a small town called Columbia, which is part of Lancaster County. About probably 15 minutes from the city.
Okay.
And born and raised there my whole life. Then when I was about 19, I moved to New York for about a semester's worth of time because I did a semester of college and then joined the Army for 6 years. So I traveled all over when I did that. I was stationed in Germany and then in San Antonio, Texas. And a year of my being stationed in Germany was actually spent in Afghanistan. And then I got out in 2015 and was living in Orlando, Florida for a while, working at Disney World as a pool boy. And then I decided to move back home because I have a younger sister. She's a lot younger than me. And she was going to be, she was still in high school at the time and was going to be graduating within the next year or two when I moved back. And I wanted to be around a little bit more because I had been gone for so long. And I wanted to be around a little bit more for her and spend some more time with her. So I moved back and then I've been here ever since. And that was, I think, in late 2016, maybe early 2017 that I moved back.
Awesome. Okay.
And that's me in a nutshell.
Awesome. Hi, Jonathan. Hi,
Hey, Jonathan.
Hackstone. Hi,
Hey.
everyone. Hi, Amy. Strength Reversed. Okay, so to continue getting to know you a little bit, you know that I've got an icebreaker prepared,
I do.
right? So we're calling this firsts and favorites. So are you ready?
I am. Let's do
Okay,
it.
let's start with the firsts. First deck you ever bought?
That was the Ellen Cannon Reed Witches Tarot.
Oh, okay. I don't think I know that one. Doesn't
Comes in
sound
like an
familiar.
orange. It's like an orange tuck box. It's pretty old. I got it when I was a teenager, like
Oh,
way
okay.
back at the Renaissance Fair.
Renaissance Fair. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked, but I love the PA Renfest. Love
Me
it.
too.
Okay. First deck you ever passed on?
Ooh, that would be the Light Seers Tarot.
Well, okay. Not for you, huh?
I got a second copy
Oh, okay.
because mine was one of the ones that when it
Oh,
first came out, the
the
edges were all,
crappy ones. Yeah.
yeah, and my friend was looking into getting her first ever tarot.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. That's awesome. Okay. First deck in your collection that was not RWS inspired. Uh-oh. Are we frozen? Did we lose Zane?
Can you
Oh,
see
did I
me?
lose you? No, okay, I can see you now.
Okay,
Okay.
sorry, my phone cut out. I forgot to turn off my Wi-Fi. Sometimes
Oh,
it
okay.
messes with my thing, so I'm going to do that real quick.
Gotcha. Ooh. You did, Allison.
Okay, we should be good now. Sorry about that.
No problem. Allison passed on her light seers as well.
Yeah, it
Hi,
was
Candy.
hey Candy. She
Okay.
was looking for her first ever tarot deck, and she was one of those people she wanted to be gifted her first ever tarot deck, and I was like, well, I've got the perfect one for you.
Yeah, light seers is a great reader, especially I think it's very intuitive for beginners too,
Absolutely.
if they don't like that traditional imagery. But
Right.
okay, so which one were we on?
First
Deck in
ever
your,
passed on.
okay. And then deck in your collection that was not RWS inspired.
Ooh, I have the Tarot Siren, which is Marseille.
I have that too, right there. And yeah, that's like my only kind of traditional Marseille.
That's my, I think, only Marseille. I'm not a Marseille reader, but I love mermaids, so I got
Yeah,
it.
it's a good one. It's a good one. Okay, first thing you ever started collecting.
Ooh, movie ticket stubs.
I love that. I used to do that a lot too, like
Really?
all kinds of stubs, and then I stopped.
I still do it, but I haven't been to a movie theater since before pandemic. So,
Yeah, and now everything is mobile, so
mhm,
they don't even really hand out tickets, do they?
right.
First pet.
It was a yellow rat snake named Tommy Pickles.
Oh my gosh. How old were you when you got Tommy Pickles?
Ooh, I don't remember exactly, but I was maybe around 7-ish.
Okay. And how long did he live for? Tommy Pickles. Don't they
Um,
usually live pretty long, right?
yeah, but there's a story to that
Okay.
one. So
Okay, I
he
won't.
got
I won't.
he got out. He got out one time when I was at my mom's house, and my
Oh.
stepmom found him in the washing machine and screamed bloody murder.
Oh
And
no.
I didn't find out till I was an adult that my dad didn't actually let him go outside in nature. My dad got rid of him.
Oh, okay. Well, that's sad. That's sad.
Yeah,
Let
so
us move right along then. First movie you ever saw in a theater.
ooh, I wanted to ask my mom about this and I forgot. I'm gonna say the first one I remember
Yeah,
is
one of the firsts.
um what is it called? The Sixth Sense.
Wow, that's a hardcore one. Were
Oh,
you like
I had to leave the movie theater halfway through because I freaked out.
that one's hardcore, especially to watch it in like a dark movie
Hmm.
theater, like huge screen. Okay. um, first celebrity crush.
Ooh, okay. So his name is Devon Sawa.
Oh, I know him.
And he
Mhm.
was the first time I saw him was he was in the old school Casper movie and he played Casper when he turned into like a real boy and not a
Oh,
ghost.
and then wasn't he in also like a Final Destination
Yes,
movie? He's
the
done a few
original.
things. Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's in the new Chucky series that came out.
Really.
Yeah.
How is that? I haven't seen that. Is
I
it?
was expecting it to be corny and I actually am loving it. I'm not
Oh,
gonna
really?
lie.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
like queer main character, so I was like, okay, Chucky, I see
Oh,
you.
very nice. Okay. And then first major move to another town, state, and country. So you said New York. That
Yep,
was
New York. It was,
the first.
yep, upstate New York, like right outside Rochester area.
Okay. First paycheck.
Ooh, that was from Aeropostale, the clothing store in the
Oh,
mall.
yes, I know Aeropostale. Does that even exist anymore? I don't think so. Does it?
I feel like we still have one in our mall, but I haven't shopped there
Oh,
since I was a
really?
teenager.
Okay. And then first achievement that meant a lot to you.
Um, ooh, I would say graduating basic training.
Yeah, that's a big achievement because basic training does not sound easy.
It was not, but
Yeah.
honestly, looking back, it was a blast.
Okay.
In the moment, it wasn't a blast, but looking
Right.
back, I did have a lot of good times.
Awesome. That's great. Okay, then on to favorites. So a favorite food or snack?
Ooh, potato pancakes,
That sounds delicious. A favorite color?
purple.
Mine too. A favorite book?
Ooh, The Once and Future Witches by Alex Harrow.
I don't think I've read that.
It is, oh, I thought I had it beside me, but I
Is
do
that a
not.
newer is that a newer book?
I
Or
want to say maybe within the last year and a half, maybe.
okay. Okay.
Um, yeah,
This
but I
does
read
sound
it and it
familiar.
became an instant favorite.
Oh, okay. I'll have to make note of that. A favorite movie or show?
Charmed is my all-time favorite show, and my favorite currently airing show would be Motherland Fort Salem.
I don't know that one.
It's about witches in an alternate version of the United States where they run the military
Oh,
and fight
is
the
that
country's wars.
is that on like Netflix or something, or is it on TV?
It's on, what is it on? Freeform.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see here. Favorite animal?
Um, ooh, Specific animal would have to be my dog
Oh,
Sebastian, but if we're talking like type of animal like in the wild, I'd say probably horses.
oh, very nice. Favorite crystal?
Ooh, black tourmaline.
That's a good one. Favorite curse word?
Ooh. We'll go with the F bomb.
Okay. Favorite costume you've ever worn?
Ooh, I was Myrtle Snow from American Horror Story Coven.
Oh my goodness. That's very creative. Favorite piece of jewelry?
Actually, probably this, which is a black tourmaline
Oh,
that I
that's
wrapped
gorgeous.
myself with some
Oh, wow.
crimson cord.
Oh, you wrapped that yourself.
I did.
Well, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Very
YouTube, you can learn
talented.
anything.
That is true. That is true. And then finally, a favorite gift that you received this year.
So this is going to be a little, it's not like a physical gift I was given, but recently my mom retaught me how to sew with a sewing machine.
That's awesome.
So I'll count that because I've been able to start learning
Like
how to make my
making
own tarot
bags.
wraps.
That's awesome. It's funny because I was at one point inspired to try to make my own tarot bags and stuff,
Mhm.
especially ones that didn't have cords because my cats like to chew on them.
Gotcha.
But at the end of the day, I just am not good at it. I'm not very good at it. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just buy them. I'll just buy them from
It's pretty much
well,
the only thing I've learned how to sew so far, but
yeah. That's great. All right, let's just take a look at the chat really quick.
oh
Hi,
yes.
Kim.
Hey,
Abundant Life Tarot. Espasha Rising. Hi, Beth.
hey.
Hey, wow. All right. I think that that's it for the newer incoming people. All right. So why don't we start with just talking about your creation process and your deck. So, like, were you always a creative person from like the time you were young?
I honestly would say no. I always loved to like sketch and doodle, but I never considered myself very good at it.
Okay.
It was just something I liked to do. And um yeah, and then for the longest time I just kind of got out of touch with like my creative self. I stopped drawing. Um, you know, growing up took over and I didn't really do it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then honestly I didn't really get back into being creative until um, I started creating my first deck, which actually is all thanks to Kim from Abundant Life Tarot.
Yes, let's talk about that because you started your very first deck, which was the Zoric or the Toke Witch Oracle,
Mm.
now dubbed the Zoracle,
Yes.
you decided to use royalty free photography for that one. And
Yes.
why don't you explain a little bit about the inspiration and
Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, Kim from Abundant Life Tarot, she had put out a video talking about her, I believe it was called her Ancestral Healing deck that she had made. And she was talking about how she used royalty free imagery, and like where she went about finding that imagery. And then she was showing, she did like a flip through and showed the cards from it. And I was like, why have I never like thought about doing this? This is awesome. This is like such a cool way to like connect with a deck because like you're putting your own heart and soul into it.
exactly?
And so I found this really cool app called Unsplash, where it's just like hundreds of thousands of photos that are royalty free that people from all over the world upload for you to use.
Hmm.
And yeah, and the first card I ever created for that deck was the oh gosh, now the title's gonna escape me. It's Gifts and oh my gosh, Gifts and Talents, sorry. And it was
No.
inspired by Kim because she had
Oh,
a card in her deck called Gifts and Talents. And I
very
believe
nice.
hers was a ballerina
Uh-huh.
dancing, and mine is someone playing the piano because I've
Oh,
always loved the art of playing the piano, even though I can't do it.
oh man, I had lessons when I was a kid, and that was just a fail. But yes, I hear you. I hear you. So that's awesome. Oh, hi, Evie. Hi,
Hey,
Masha.
hey, Masha.
Great. So then, you made the switch from photography when you decided to do Zaney tarot. You made the switch from doing using stock images to then using like illustrative graphics. So
Mhm.
why did you decide to make that switch?
I wanted to challenge myself to do some more like collaging and like collage work. And at the time, I won't say now because my tastes have evolved, but at the time, I wasn't so much into like photography collage art.
Hmm.
So I was like, you know what? Let me try my hand at finding some like royalty free animation
Hmm.
and see about how it goes with me trying to collage it together because I had never done anything like that before.
Right.
And I honestly don't even remember. Maybe Kim had mentioned it in her video. I don't remember how I first started using Canva,
Oh, okay.
um, but I saw that Canva had royalty free animation on there. So I signed up for the pro version so I had access to all of it. And I just kind of started working with it and getting used to the interface of the app.
Hmm.
And yeah, just started building scenes. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to do a tarot deck out of this. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah, that's how it came to be.
Yeah, Canva. So you definitely were on more of a speed dial trajectory than I was because I was when I created my decks, I was using Canva, but I didn't have Pro at the time. So I didn't have that
Okay.
huge repository of images. So I was taking them from like other,
Right.
sites where you could get royalty free vector
Hmm.
images and stuff like that. And then having to do it on Illustrator and then and then
Right.
like putting the manipulated images onto Canva. But so you actually show that on your channel where
Hmm.
you're crafting a card, and that's Canva.
Yes.
So it really is a unique app. It's a great, and it's not that hard to learn the ins and outs, when you start practicing, but it's really
Right. I found it really easy, like you said, like it was a quick learning process because,
Mhm.
like I said, I had never used an app like that before at all.
Yeah.
And I kind of just dove into it, and it was such a fun learning process. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why it seemed so quick.
Right.
But yeah, and I've made all of my decks. This isn't something I might have mentioned it, but I don't usually talk about it. I've made them all on my phone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that I cannot do. That I would not have been able to do. That's great. That's very awesome. Yeah, no, I have to use my laptop because I have bad eyes. I have old eyes, but that's awesome. Yeah, so it sounds like what you do is, on Canva, you're able to grab the different pieces, the different elements you want,
Hmm.
manipulate them in terms of color, or stylistically manipulate them, and then collage all the pieces
Right.
together. Yeah.
Yep. And there's even some that like you're not able in the app to manipulate the colors. So I have to
Yeah.
like export them to another program and then
Yep.
recolor them somewhere
Yep.
else, like maybe Procreate or
Okay.
oh gosh, I don't even remember off the top of my head some of the other apps. But most of it's done in Canva, but every so often I have to use
You
some
have
other
to,
apps for the recoloration.
yeah, exactly. And that's what I was using Illustrator for,
Hmm.
just and to sometimes get rid of certain certain little elements that I didn't want to,
Right.
like delete that layer or whatever. But
Right. Yeah. Canva added a really cool feature called the background remover, which has been great to
I did
like
not
it.
know. Okay, so I just signed up for the pro like maybe 2 weeks ago. Like
Okay.
seriously, I am so far behind. Like I did not get the memo that of all that Canva had to offer. So I'm just now kind of trying it out to see what it provides, and it seems
Hmm.
really cool. And
It's
it's not
pretty
that
awesome.
expensive. Yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Okay. So then let's talk about Zany Spirit Tarot.
All right.
So I did the moving forward spread that you
Hmm.
have provided. And let me tell you, like that, your deck, it like comes off all sweet and whimsical. And then it's like, you know what? I'm gonna tell you a little something.
I
So
love
like,
that
I was
because that's
not
what I was
expecting
going for.
I was not expecting such attitude, but okay. But you know what? It was spot on. It
I'm
was a
so glad.
spot on reading that I just had to forgive it. But it's a great deck, and I
Thank you.
wanted to know what your inspiration behind this one was.
Okay, so I had been behind the scenes after creating the Zaney Tarot. I was playing with like kind of the same art style, like creating another deck just in my free time for fun. But yeah, it was along the same, pretty much the same vibe as the Zaney Tarot.
Hmm.
And I was like, I really want to branch out again and try something else new, something different. So I was like, what about trying some watercolor art?
Yeah.
So I started searching Canva. I was like, I don't even know if they're going to have like an abundance of watercolor art accessible to me. But I started searching and found out they had like multiple watercolor versions of everything I was searching for. So I was
Yes.
like, I could do this.
It's
So,
amazing. Yeah, that's I mean, one of the immediate appeals when I was watching, I saw the pictures of your deck on Instagram, and then, you know, pretty much like badgered you about putting up your flip through onto YouTube so I could see it. But I was just like, this is beautiful. And I had no idea Canva had that big of a repository. So that's
it's
great.
awesome.
So then let me see here. How would you compare Zany Spirit to the Zany Tarot? Do you feel like there are some distinctions, or it's more of
Okay,
an
so
evolution, or mhm.
evolution is a good word because like I said, I always want to like be growing and pushing myself to learn like new mediums and stuff. So it was, even though it was like the same process more or less, it's a completely
Mhm.
different thing trying to collage together watercolor art
Mhm.
and like the vector style images from the Zany Tarot. Um, but I'd like to think that they have the same kind of essence to them because I put myself into both of them. They
Mhm.
both have that like whimsical feel to them, but like you said, don't hesitate to kick your butt.
Don't. Not at
So
all.
that definitely ties them together, but they do definitely have their own voice and their own attitude.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Kim is saying, I'm placing an order for one of your decks, Zane, to be shipped to my parents' house. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, awesome. Thank you
And
so much, Kim. I
then
appreciate the support.
yes, and then yeah, Beth was asking where can you order. So it is on Make Playing Cards.
Yeah,
I will have a link I should have a link to your seller's page, but if you just did a search on Make Playing Cards, it'll pop up. So
I will say if the link is there, I recommend that because sometimes make playing cards is very hard to navigate.
it can be. And do you know what they started doing
What's
with the
that?
preview? You know how
Oh,
before when you could preview all the cards, and
yeah,
now they're just giving you like
the
a
first
taste of
couple.
what's up with
Yeah,
that?
I'm so bummed about it. I didn't
I
realize until Jamie from Wandering Mountain Bardic Path brought it to my attention. She was like, I can only see like the first four cards.
Yeah, same, which was then again why I was bugging you for your for your flip through, because I was like, what's going on? Why can't I see all the cards? So
Right,
anyway, I don't know why they decided to do that, because that was one of like the greatest features, that you really could see what you were getting,
exactly.
because there's just so many decks. You just don't know until you
Right.
look at it all. But okay. So why don't we have a closer look at some of the cards?
All right.
I had a list because these are like the cards I was curious to get your take on, like what inspired you, what was the story
Hmm.
behind the card, but I have them in order, and of course chime in with any other cards that you personally might like to discuss.
All right.
Um,
Can I give a quick shout out too?
yes.
I mentioned Jamie from Wandering Mountain Bardic
Yeah.
Path. She was actually such a huge blessing during the creation of this deck. She was kind of like my go-to person when I was like, something about this image isn't working or something's missing. And
Mhm.
I sent her like all of the cards as I was creating them and
Oh,
got
that's
her
awesome.
feedback on all of them. So
That's
she
great.
has a huge, I feel like part of her is in this deck too.
Yay. Oh, yay, Jamie. Love you. It's great to have a buddy to bounce ideas off of and to get some, candid and like honest
Absolutely.
feedback. Yeah. Hi, Dan. Blue Crescent Tarot.
Hey,
Hello.
Deanne.
Thanks for joining us. Okay. So you do have a blank card
I
that is
do.
included. And so what is this just supposed to be, whatever intuitively comes to mind for the um
Um, So it kind of became like a signature, starting with the, or at least I turned it into a signature, starting with the Zaney tarot. I included a blank purple card in there to represent the color of amethyst, which is good for, in my opinion, for like divination work and scrying work.
Very
So that
nice.
was meant to be a scrying card, whereas this, with the watercolor
Mhm.
patterns, I wanted it to be more of like a focal point for like maybe meditation
That's
or
great.
again scrying. You can find patterns like when you let yourself fall into the um I don't want to say image because it's not necessarily an image, but when you let yourself fall into the artwork,
Yeah.
um you can see all different kinds of things in it.
Awesome. Love that. And of course, purple. You can't go wrong with purple.
Exactly.
And it's very complimentary to your backs, which
That's
I
another thing.
love
I
it.
love purple and yellow
I
together.
love that back. It's simple and yet it's pretty, so I love that.
And I won't
Um,
lie, when I first put together the image for the back,
mhm.
because it's actually one image that I mirrored to get
Uh,
that mirror effect.
mhm.
And it reminded me a little bit, you can kind of see like a rabbit, like a dark rabbit head in it with the
Oh, I can
ears
see
up.
it.
And it reminded me of Donnie Darko, and I loved it.
See, now you're gonna now you're gonna start freaking me out because Donnie Darko, that rabbit gives me nightmares.
Oh no.
Nightmares, Zane. Okay, well, I'm gonna pretend I
Then
didn't.
forget I even said
Yeah.
anything.
Oh my god, that traumatized me. That bunny, that rabbit.
It's
Oh,
pretty
anyway,
dark.
yeah, it's definitely. But in any case, okay. So let me just go through. I mean, first of all, I love the Fool.
And
Very
that's my
Dorothy.
little, that's my, it's supposed to be a representation of my dog Sebastian.
Sebastian, is it
He's a
okay?
min pin.
But this is supposed to refer to like the yellow. Is it the yellow brick
Yes.
road? Okay, okay.
Yep.
So then one of the first ones, of course, we won't go through this whole thing. Zane does have a flip through, and I will try to remember to give the links, but I feel like the crew is here. They've all seen and or own the deck, right? Okay. So High Priestess, you chose a narwhal. Narwhal?
Yes.
Narwhal.
And so this is one, I have to say, I honestly don't remember. There was something that triggered the image of a narwhal in my head, and I don't remember what it was. I don't know if I was just looking for or thinking about, I wanted an animal that seems mystical and mythological, but isn't.
Yeah.
And so the narwhal just came into my head for some reason. I honestly, like I said, can't remember exactly why. And I was playing around with it, and I was like, I made the image before I decided it was going to be the high priestess. It was
Oh,
just
really?
the image,
Okay.
and without the two little fish at first, just the
Okay.
narwhal diving down into the water. And I was like, you know what? When I think of the high priestess, I think of her diving deep down into that wellspring inside of
Mhm.
herself, her wellspring of knowledge, I like to call it,
Yeah.
and her wellspring of magic. And so I was like, this has to be the high priestess card.
I love
And
that.
so I added the two little fish. I don't know if you can tell, but
Yep.
one's darker
Mhm.
for the most part. There's like a dark spot on it, and then the other one's lighter, and that was supposed to be like
The
the
two.
black and white
Yeah.
pillars.
Yeah. Kind of thought that might be the case. That's
Hmm.
awesome. Okay. So then we're going to jump ahead to Justice, the polar
Yes.
bear.
So
So
I oh gosh, I have my cards in order, but I must have skipped
Good.
over it. Sorry.
Totally fine.
And then okay, so when I think of justice, it made me think when I was thinking of an animal to represent justice. I'll say it gave me a little bit of pause because
Mhm.
the justice card is one I've always had an issue connecting to in like all tarot decks. I don't know why. It's just a card I've always had trouble connecting to. So I
Mhm.
was like really thinking like what animal do I want to represent this? And then it popped into my head, with global warming and people
Yes.
denying that global warming is even a thing. What animal is like really suffering from this? And the first thing that popped into my head was the polar bear because with the ice caps melting and everything.
Yeah. That's
Um,
actually the first thing that popped in my head as well. I was wondering if that was the inspiration behind that.
Absolutely.
So,
And I wasn't going to
nice.
obviously show like an emaciated polar bear because that wasn't the vibe of the deck. So I just went with a
No.
standing, proud, and strong polar bear.
Awesome. Good. Nailed it. Nailed it. Okay. Let me see here. And okay, I just gotta I love the temperance. Love
Yeah,
it.
another, like I said, a
Mhm.
favorite of mine as well.
Okay. This one, the devil.
Yes.
I have some
I
thoughts
kn-
about this. So tell me about this one.
I knew this was going to be one that a lot of people didn't get right off the bat,
I
which is
might,
why
but
I
go for it.
do I do plan on doing a full walkthrough to
Hmm.
explain the cards on my channel. I just haven't had the time to film, but it is coming. Um, so this is a stork, and growing up as a queer kid, that idea was always I always felt like it was being kind of pressed on me. That idea that like the ideal life comes from settling down, having kids, having the house with the white picket fence.
Hmm.
And it became something that I like thought about all the time and was really focused on and was like so stressed out about like, is my family going to be disappointed if I don't have kids? If I don't get married, all that kind of stuff. And it became like an obsession. And I also feel like society is kind of obsessed with that idea that to be happy, you have to have, like I said, the 2.5 kids, the house with the white picket fence. So this card, kind of represents that it has the children aspect with the stork, and then the dilapidated house that's supposed to be that idea of the house with the white picket fence, kind of crumbling.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty amazing.
So I know for a lot of people, that might be a little bit of a stretch, but that's where that was my inspiration for that.
Beautiful. Okay. Awesome. And then on to Judgment. I really like
Yes.
this one.
Thank you. This is another favorite of mine
Yeah.
actually too. I love all things mushrooms. Mushrooms like represent
Yes.
magic to me.
Yes.
Um, so the thought process behind this one was actually one that came into my head pretty quick when I thought about Judgment because I think of Judgment as a rebirth or a
Mhm.
resurgence. And what better representation than fungi? I mean, when a tree dies in the forest, you're walking through the woods, you look at a tree that's died or fallen over and started to decay. What's growing out of it? New
Right.
life in the form of a mushroom or another type of fungi.
Yeah.
And so it's like that tree being reborn in a new form.
Beautiful. That was my impression as well.
Awesome. I'm glad it came across because, like
Yeah.
I said, that's a favorite of mine in
That's
the
one of
deck.
mine too, actually. I really love that. Okay, let's see what else. So we're gonna jump a little ahead into the Seven of Fire,
Yes, the rooster
the
card.
rooster with the house. You love your houses.
I do.
Yeah.
So I always think of the Seven of Fire or the Seven of Wands as a card about defense,
Hmm.
but also having that higher ground, that higher vantage point.
Hmm.
So I wanted the fence to represent, like that defense of your property. But then also the rooster, sorry, things are reversed. So,
Yeah, I know.
um,
Nope.
so I know roosters are an animal that even though you might think air because they're a bird, they are known to represent fire.
I can
And
see that.
what better animal to represent like, like a watch out, a lookout animal
Hmm.
because they do their call to like signal people to wake up in the morning. You see
Mhm.
that in movies all the time. So it's that lookout bird, that they have the higher vantage point. They're able to alert you to anything coming your way.
Awesome. Yeah, and I feel like the rooster has a very fiery personality, you know?
Absolutely.
They're, like, loud and raucous and very wands energy, so
100%.
Okay, and just a shout out to the 8 of fire, which is Alice. Alice,
Yes,
right? Okay.
100%. I'm glad you got that.
9 of fire.
Yes. So I will say I am an arachnophobe,
Oh, yeah.
but when I thought of the idea of the 9 of fire, I think of it as that last hurdle. Like you've almost completed your mission. You're almost there, but it's that last final stretch.
Mhm.
And I thought, what better imagery? I don't know. It just came to me, honestly. Like, I don't know where it came from, but I was thinking of a spider creating a web, and, it's got that last little bit left
Yeah.
until it's complete. And, poor spiders, like, everybody's always knocking down their web. So it's like they spend all this time building this beautiful thing, only to
Yeah.
have it knocked down, but they get right back up and start creating
It's
again.
very
So,
true, and it's a very detailed process for that spider, and they're at work and they just keep
yeah.
going. So that's great. That's a wonderful representation. And then let me see here. Okay, now we're going to jump into the water suit. And I wanted to know a little bit more about the 4 of water.
Yes. So this is actually funny. I was going over some of these cards again with Jamie, talking about, like my inspiration behind them, kind of like we're doing.
Mhm.
And
Marilyn's like, oh, spider. Sorry. Just
and I knew that would be a lot of people's reactions.
but I loved it. I love it. Okay, so go ahead.
So the 4 water
Mhm.
is a starfish on some rocks at the bottom of the ocean. And Jamie brought it to my attention. We've both lived in Germany before, and she brought to my attention. She said, when I first look at this, like just right off the bat, the first thing I think of is a German Brötchen, which is like a type of bread. And it like
Oh,
you cut the top in like an X. So when it bakes, it kind of like fills out the X on top.
oh,
And
okay.
she's like, it looks like a roll, like a German bread with the top cut.
That sounds delicious,
And I
actually.
was like, I totally see it. As soon as you started to talk, I knew what you were going to say. But it is meant to be a starfish laying on a rock, because when I think of the 4 water, I think of boredom, also apathy,
Mhm.
and just that kind of laying around, not wanting to do anything when you have all of this like beautiful foliage behind you that you could be exploring. But the starfish is just, chilling on the rock.
Chilling. Yep. Love that. Love that. Andy, yeah, I hear you. I hear you, Andy, the wildflower. I'm like, I would not be able to do this on my own. I just,
I
w- I don't,
Lots of like double, triple, quadruple checking my work. I'll tell
okay,
you that.
because I would be cross-eyed. I would be cross-eyed, just like 2 cards in. Okay, and then onto the 5 of water with the sad fishy.
Yes.
Um,
So
so
this is
I
meant
love
to
the layout.
be like the ocean in the background
Right. Mhm.
and the shoreline. And this little fish has been, I didn't want a lot of like or like any really human representation in here. There's a couple humanoid figures like a mermaid and a
Right.
fairy,
Mhm.
but no actual humans. So I didn't want to show the human aspect of it, but I wanted that to be kind of understood, like the human taking this fish out of its environment and capturing it in a bowl. And this poor
Mm.
fish is, coming to the realization that he's never going to be able to answer the call of the sea again. He's never going to see his family again. And
Dear
he's trapped in like spending the rest of his life in this little glass bowl.
God, that's depressing.
I
Wow,
know,
okay,
right?
thank you. Oh my god. Nailed it. Okay. Oh, yes, Jen says, "You are very talented." Yes,
Oh,
so
thank
freaking
you.
creative. It's so true.
Thank you so much.
Um, let's see what else here. I'm just checking the
Yeah, sorry, I'm so bad at
So am I. I
looking at the
apologize,
chat.
people. I apologize, Zane's crew. I'm like, I'm doing my best. Um, let's see. Hagstone says, I always feel terrible in the autumn when the harvest spiders spin their webs across my path down my garden. Yeah, understandable. I get it. I do have a love-hate relationship with spiders. Like I appreciate their function in the world, and I do think they get a bad rep, but
Hmm.
the visceral response, especially to the large ones. And then living in Australia with those huge hunter spiders, I
Oh
wouldn't,
yeah, I
I,
couldn't. I could never.
yeah, no, no, no.
Being
Okay.
in Afghanistan was bad enough. I was
Oh,
lucky that I
mm,
never saw a camel spider, but I woke up to a tarantula in the middle of my floor one night and about crapped
mm-mm,
myself.
mm-mm. Thank you, Jamie. Jamie says we're doing wonderful. So yay.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, just no. Okay. And just a shout out to this one because this one's freaking adorable. This is an
Thank you.
axolotl, right? What
Absolutely.
was
Yep.
your what?
And so I think I was talking to maybe Regina from Regina Tarot,
Mhm.
and she said something about like, is there going to be an axolotl on your deck? And I was like, well, I hadn't thought of it yet, but I love axolotls.
Yes,
So now
they're
there's going to
adorable.
be. And so I came across this image of the axolotl with all these Christmas lights hanging off of it. And I was like, I have to build a scene around
Yeah,
that. And
it's great.
Christmas is a huge nostalgia inducing time of
Absolutely.
year for me because growing up it was my favorite time of year, not even just the holiday, like hanging the stockings by the chimney, decorating the Christmas tree, putting
Mhm.
the lights up. I loved everything about it, so I was like, it's perfect for the card representing nostalgia.
Yeah, I love it. It's so adorable. Okay, let's see. What else do I have? And then, Eight of Water. I don't know why I put that. I mean, I do know that this one is the Eight of Water, which I
Hmm.
totally get.
Another favorite of mine, actually.
Yes. Oh yeah,
Hmm.
I
I don't
really
know, it's
do
like
though. That's very clear.
the colors and everything, it just is one of my favorites.
It's beautiful. So let me see. Maybe I was thinking, you know what? I might have been thinking Eight of Air. So I
Okay.
that's what I was. Yeah, Eight of Air.
So
So
let
this
me
is
get to the
your
eight.
animal, the horse,
Yes.
and we do have the fence there.
Yeah. And I know, so I know that a lot of people wouldn't necessarily think of a horse representing air, but when I think of a horse, I think of a wild horse, running through
Running,
a
yeah, the air.
field with
Mhm.
the air blowing through their
No,
hair, their
absolutely.
mane, and them just running all over the place, living their best life.
Absolutely. That's
Um,
very air energy.
and
Yeah.
then
Being trapped.
with, yeah, with
Mhm.
the eight of swords being, usually self entrapment, but also it can be, being trapped by the things around you. I
Mhm.
was like, what better way to show that, the air being stifled, them not being able to run as free. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
there's still space to run, but at the end of the day, they're still trapped behind that fence.
Yeah.
But again, is it self entrapment? Because could
Right.
that horse jump that fence if it really wanted to?
Right. Right. And also like the space behind it seems very open as well.
Right.
So could it be that they could, just turn around, change that perspective and find
Exactly.
another way?
Yep.
So yeah, I loved that. Okay. And then Nine of Air.
Okay. Another one that I knew some people might be like, what's going on? There's no air in this. It's underwater. But
Yes.
so number one,
I
the
mean, I think
nightmare.
I do get it, but
Yeah,
yeah, go
the
ahead.
nightmare card.
Yeah.
One of my biggest fears in the world is sharks. Like I do not get in water.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't
Sure.
like the beach. Like not my
You and I
thing.
are on the same page there. I'm not really an ocean fan.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like not knowing what's around me.
Yes, exactly.
And so I was like, as soon as I was like nightmare card, the first thing that popped in my head was a shark. That one was real easy for me.
Okay.
But also, as far as the air aspect, when you're underwater like this and you're swimming towards the surface, you're thinking is, I need that inhale of air
Yes.
because you're out of your element. You're underwater where you need something else to help you breathe.
Right.
So it's kind of that like that anticipation of like, I need to take this breath. I need air in my lungs.
That's great. That's a fabulous nightmare card.
Thank you.
Fabulous. Love it. Okay, now we're jumping to the Earth suit.
All right.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Which one was I? I think I was wondering about well, actually no, this was again another shout out to the sad let me see. Let me get
Sad
back.
cat.
The sad cat. Oh my god, break my heart, okay? Just break my heart. And this is during Christmas time
I
and
know.
oh Good job. Good job with that. Like, I
Thank
was like,
you.
oh my God, that's okay. And then we have, let me see. Oh, I think that's it. I
Is
think
that
that was
everything?
kind of it for like, yeah, the ones that I was just especially curious about. But and I look
Gotcha.
forward to your walkthrough when you actually go through the whole deck.
Thank you. Yeah.
But I didn't want to spend like 5 hours on here going through every single one. But are there any others that you wanted to personally discuss or?
Well, here's a quick shout out to the
Yes,
other elephant
the
card in
other
the
elephant.
deck,
Yeah,
King of Earth.
makes total sense. Makes
And I
total
thought so
sense.
too, for
Hi,
sure.
Emerald. Yes,
Hey,
no sad kitties. I
there
know.
was
I
one
know.
more that I
Hi,
thought I
Joey
might
Luna.
discuss. Hey,
You mean with the cats? Like a cat, another? I know there was was
well,
it Five Where Were the Cats?
it
That one was,
is a, oh yeah, it is, but
that was,
a bigger cat. I was thinking of
oh, yes.
the Ten
Yes.
of Air
Uh-huh.
or the Ten of Swords because it's not a traditional Ten of Swords
No,
card.
it's not.
You
Yeah.
can see that behind them something bad happened,
Yes.
cheetah's been through some stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna use female pronouns because she just gives me a very female, strong female energy.
Actually, same. Yeah.
And so you can tell that, like I said, she's been through some stuff.
Yeah.
And whether it's her blood or blood that she put there by having to fight her way through something,
Hmm.
um, she got through it. And, people might say don't look back, but sometimes it's good to look back on things and reflect so that you don't make the same mistakes again. And
Hmm.
if you see in front of her, there's these lush green mountains. So, yes, it's that whole greener pastures thing, but also there's still more struggles to come,
Hmm.
but they are lush with plenty of opportunities mixed in with them. And of course, the sun to show that after every storm and every dark night, the sun's going to rise again.
Yeah.
But this was
Beautiful.
another favorite of mine that I knew might give people some like how is that the Ten of Swords?
No, I actually got it because the first thing that my eyes were drawn to was the red, the
Hmm.
vibrancy of the red. I'm like, that's a bad sign.
Right.
That's like a bad sign.
And if you look at, it's also a little bit of an homage to the Zaney tarot
Hmm.
because it is the same kind of scene in the Zaney tarot, but the figure standing there is a woman with her superhero cape on because she made it through the tough times.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that was a little bit of
Beautiful.
an homage to the Zaney tarot without being an
Beautiful.
exact duplicate of the card.
Awesome. So Marilyn is asking, what's your sun card? All
Okay.
right. The sun was, did I get these all out of order now? It's cute.
It is a
It's
sprite.
cute.
It is an earth
That's
sprite surrounded by pumpkins and gourds.
adorable. I mean, if that doesn't scream sun, then I don't know. You're dead inside.
I had actually created an alternate sun card
Oh,
with
yeah?
a bunny and some sunflowers and the bunny
Oh,
looking up to the sun in the sky.
yeah.
But I was showing my sister the images on my phone before I had the deck printed, and she said,
Hmm.
"No, I like the other sun better. It makes me smile." And I said, and she
Oh,
doesn't know anything about tarot, and I said, "Well, then that's the one we're using because
right.
it should make you smile."
Right. Well, and you also actually have sunflowers in your moon card,
Yep,
or yeah, the star card. Sorry, the star card.
yep,
So that's beautiful. I love that. It's like I love that in these images you have a lot of kind of these unexpected elements, that you would normally associate with that particular image or the traditional kind of
right.
interpretation, and yet it works. It's
Hmm.
very fluid. So I love that.
Yeah,
So
because
we're
I wanted
getting,
those sunflowers to represent that hope, even
yeah,
when the stars are out, even when it's dark out and you're surrounded by the darkness, there's those sunflowers there, like to represent that hope of a new day.
absolutely. So Jen is requesting the Empress and the Emperor. So, okay, yes. The Empress unicorn. Good job.
Thank you.
Good
I was
job.
like, what
Oh my
better
gosh.
figure to be the
Yes.
Empress?
Yes. So nice. And there's the Emperor. Put
And
you in
then,
large.
yes,
I loved
a
that too.
beautiful
Very
stag.
majestic. Yeah.
Yeah, stags to me also represent magic, just like mushrooms represent like the essence of magic. Stags to me do too, especially the
Yeah.
white stag.
Yeah. That's gorgeous.
But
Love
he
it.
just looks like he rules any
Yes,
area he walks
exactly.
into.
He is like the master of his domain for
Right.
sure. For sure.
Thank you.
Yes. Same, Jamie. Ah,
Oh, thanks, Jamie.
it's so good.
Like
So
I
good.
said, part of Jamie's in this deck too. So
Yeah. Beth is showing approval,
thank you. Thank you.
as is Jen.
Thank
Very
you.
nice. All right.
Hey,
Okay.
Nina. Nina just showed up from Shuffle Tarot.
Oh, hi, Nina. How are you? Thanks for joining. Um, let's see here. Okay, so if there are any more requests to see some cards, do let us know. But were there any cards
Ooh.
that were difficult for you?
Um,
Difficult to conceptualize or to kind of, create?
Ooh, let's see. I did while I'm thinking about this, I'll hold up the moon card. I did see someone asked
Oh, that's
about the
right.
moon
Yes.
card.
Sorry about that. Yes, you're right. Beautiful, beautiful,
This
beautiful.
is another favorite, just
Oh,
with the purple in the sky
yes.
and the
I love
wolves.
the color scheme. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So let me think here
Oh, and
about.
Jonathan is asking for Hermit. I got that
Ooh,
one. Yes.
okay.
Hermits. Oh, let
Bet
me.
you can't guess what animal it is.
Here you go, Jonathan. Very clever. Very clever. Perfect. It's perfect.
I'm trying to think. I knew there was one that I wanted to talk about that was difficult for me to conceptualize. I will say it might look pretty simple in the finished product, but it took me a minute to come up with an idea for the Wheel of Fortune, or I
Yeah.
just called it Fortune.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, with Justice, it's the same thing with the Wheel of Fortune card. I always have an issue kind of connecting to a traditional Wheel of
Mm-hmm.
Fortune card. It just doesn't represent to me what it's supposed to represent in the
Mm-hmm.
imagery. And I just really wanted to show more the idea. I know it also represents, like ebb and flow, the cycles of life and everything, but I also wanted to show something you don't get to see very often, which is that fortune aspect of it. And when you
Mm-hmm.
think of a like sprightly creature that represents, fortune, what better one than the leprechaun?
Mm-hmm. Love
And
it.
so it took me a minute to come up with this idea, but as soon as I did it, I was like, that's it. I love it.
Beautiful. Yeah, and I just love the layout of it as well. It's
Thank
very,
you.
very
Thank you.
creative. I got it. Yeah. So Jonathan was saying he loves that hermit.
Oh, thank you, Jonathan.
Approval. And then Jen was asking if I have a least favorite card. And then Jonathan is asking if you have a least favorite card. Oh, hi, Meg. Rose Honey
Hey.
Ritual. Welcome. So you want to
Um,
go first, Zane? I mean, are you talking about least favorite card just in general or or in the deck?
I'm
I would think
assuming
in
he
general,
means in
right?
the deck, but they're all my
I was gonna
babies.
say that's like a cruel question, y'all. Like, what do you, I don't think I do really.
I'm flipping through them
No,
now.
I'm
Oh,
flipping.
and if you have a least favorite, it will not hurt my feelings if you
I
share it.
really honestly don't. I mean, hmm.
I'll say maybe the three of air, but only because knowing what it represents, it makes me really sad every time I look at it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's like if and I love the Knight of Air too with
That's
that.
another
Oh,
one
I
of my
love it.
favorites.
But no, honestly, there's going to be a least favorite, it's just because like it makes me sad. You know,
Hmm.
like if it's a card that like upsets me,
Right. Oh, I
then
guess I should show the card that I said too, the three of air.
this one actually this one's hard for me. This one,
Okay.
Five of Fire. That one's a hard one. Um,
That's the
yeah,
three of air.
Three of Air.
And it's the eggs that fell out of the bird's nest and the snake
Mhm.
coming to, do what snakes do.
Yeah. So Jen was saying, "Yup, wanted to make you think and torture you a little."
Thanks a lot, Jen.
Thanks a lot,
Appreciate
Jen.
that.
Thanks a lot. Okay, so and Allison from Tech Coven wants to see the Two of Swords.
All right.
Let's see. Now I'm a hot mess here. I had everything in order, and now I
Here
don't.
we go.
Yes, I love that one.
With the little blue jay sitting
I
on
love
top of the
that.
crossroads signs.
Blue jays are my favorite bird.
Oh,
Actually.
really?
Well, they get such a bad rep, but they're really resilient and beautiful, beautiful birds. But they're known to
I
be
agree.
jerks. They have that reputation of being jerks, but I love
I
them.
agree with you, though. I love blue jays and cardinals are my two favorite.
Yes, cardinals. Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
I
So,
grew up on a street called Cardinal Drive that was attached to Bluebird Avenue. So
oh, very nice. Okay, and then Beth is asking for Six of Swords. Six of Swords. Why is my thing not now out of order?
here we go.
Ah, beautiful.
And this is that idea, you see the campsite in the background, and it's that idea of, humans taking over the land that belongs to these animals and this bird having to swim to the other side to, be able to relax and get away from these people encroaching on their land.
Love the swan. And it's again not in the context that you would normally think of a swan. Usually the swan
Right.
is shown in like beauty and luxury and peace, and it's kind of a
And strength. And this one's a little
strength.
more vulnerable and
Absolutely.
having to do some healing, which is also another perfect representation, I thought, for that card.
Yes. So Meg is saying that Candy wants 3 of Cups. All right. Coming up.
Oh, this is another favorite. I know I keep saying that, but it's true.
Well, I would hope so, given that you are the creator of this deck. So yeah. So cute.
Oh, and I do
love
want to
the
say, I
render.
just thought of this looking at this card. The final version of the deck, or the deck, like the version that you have, Julie, the text is 10 points bigger.
Oh, okay.
And I made some coloration changes and moved some of the titles to make them as visible, like as easily seen as possible on
I
each
see.
card.
Gotcha. Okay.
So mine's the original, like prototype version. So it's a little bit smaller and harder to see on some cards.
Gotcha. Lovely. And Hagstone says 10 of Wands for Meg. I love this community, collaboration here.
Yes. Oh, and again, I know I keep saying it, but legit, this is a favorite of mine.
I love that one. Yes. I know I keep saying that, but I actually really do love this rendition.
Yeah, this is probably honestly in my top 3 of the deck.
Yeah. Very intuitive, very right on, hitting the nail on the head for sure. Yes. Oh,
I'm loving this. Keep sending in your requests, everybody.
Fantastic.
Oh, Tilly's Candy said that's Tilly's card. She's pure 3 of Cups and wants to see it in every deck.
It's fabulous. Okay, so I think we're winding down on requests. So, okay, so yeah, any challenging cards or any like easy cards, ones that were particularly fun?
Definitely the Fool for sure.
Yeah.
Just because it's really close to my heart because, like I said, it is meant to represent Sebastian, and I absolutely love the Wizard of Oz. So, easy. When I thought of the Hierophant, I instantly thought of the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland, but he's become the butterfly in this.
Very nice.
So that was another one that kind of came to me right away. And difficult. I just thought of another one too because I had said I was trying to think, and I thought of one that was a little bit harder for me to come up with, and now I don't remember again what it was. I'm so sorry.
It'll come to you. Don't worry. It'll come to you.
Oh,
all good.
It was one that we talked about, the devil. It took me a while to find an animal representation that resonated with me as the devil.
I can see that. Yeah. Death. I love the cards. All right. Okay. So we actually talked about your favorite cards, which is all of them. So we're good on that.
Do you have a favorite?
It would have to be the Temperance.
Okay.
Yeah, because I
Makes
mean,
sense.
come on. Well, so yeah, there are just so, I mean, there's so many good ones, but like the Temperance, I loved with the elephant.
Hmm.
I love, yes, the Six of Water with the axolotl. I thought that
Yes.
was adorable. And the ones with, of course, the mermaids,
I was gonna
they're
say
so adorable.
I do have one more favorite
Go
to
for it.
show, and it has to do, it's one of the mermaid cards, and it's the Nine of Water.
Yes. Love it.
And she's one of my favorites because she's just living her best
Yes,
life.
exactly. That's like mood right there. I would like to be there. I would like to be
Right?
doing that.
Same.
So awesome. Okay. And then so as we're kind of like wrapping up a little bit, like how do you feel your creative process or your creativity in general has changed or evolved?
Um, well, like I said, I had gotten really out of touch with being creative for like
Mhm.
years upon years of my life. Um, so getting into creating these cards really just sparked my creativity in all forms. I started creating a bibliomancy book.
Mm.
Um, I've started creating, I have probably like three more decks behind the scenes that I'm just working on back and forth, back and forth.
Three more
Um,
decks.
yeah, I
Wow.
started creating
Hi, Andy.
an oracle deck with stickers and
Oh, I
cardstock.
love that. Deanne's doing something
So,
similar. Deanne is
oh,
also doing a
that one's a little racy. Sorry.
it's all right.
So yeah, just
That's awesome.
yeah, and I got that idea from Jamie at Wandering Mountain Bardic Path. She was creating her own oracle cards with stickers, and I loved it, so I started doing it too. And
Awesome.
Gerald as well, he was doing it too.
Very cool. So we're getting a request for the death card.
Oh yeah,
Where is that?
that
That
is
one's pretty pretty intuitive.
yeah.
Yep.
We've got our bird of prey with
Yep.
his prey in his mouth. I don't know if that's focusing or not, but he has a squirrel in his mouth.
Yep. Pretty pretty intuitive. Let's see here.
Oh, and another quick shout out. I love the tower card.
Yeah, I do too. That's beautiful. Just like aesthetically, it's beautiful. Bye, Candy. Thank you so much
I'll
for
see you,
joining us.
Candy. Yeah, I appreciate you being here, Candy.
Yeah, it's just aesthetically. I'm like, well, that's actually a pretty tower card. Like I wouldn't if I were to get the tower, I think I would be not as pissed off about it
Right.
because it's so pretty. So Beth is asking for the Three of Swords. Let's see. Now my pile is just a
Oh,
car
yes,
crash.
that's the one I said makes me sad.
Yes, yes, that
And
is.
that's the one with the eggs that fell out of the nest and the snake is coming for dinner.
Yep. Promoting. Oh, okay. So Candy's still here.
Oh.
Awesome. Yes, you do know how to pull on the heartstrings, Zane. I'm just like, oh well, that's so freaking sad.
Well, like you said, I wanted it to be very light in energy overall, but not
Yeah,
pull any punches.
yeah.
So, you know, those
Success.
quote unquote darker emotions are part of life, so they
It's
have to
true.
be in there
It's very true. Very
and part of
true.
tarot.
So okay, unfair question here, but you knew it was coming. If you
Hmm.
could save only one of your babies, which one would you choose?
Ooh, I think it would have to be this one, the Zany Spirit. Just
Yeah.
because, like I said, it's been like a creative journey, and this
Hmm.
is the best representation of where I'm at now creatively.
Hmm.
So I feel like I'd have to say that one. But if you ask me in another 3 months, it might be the
Exactly.
most recent one that I'm working on.
Exactly. Exactly. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us. Thought you were going on break, but we loved seeing you. Um, okay, well, so let me see. So we talked about some of your upcoming decks that you're working on. So you said you have three, and are they still kind of the same aesthetic of the more illustrative, or are you thinking of doing more kind of photo based?
So there is one, okay, sorry, there's two actually that are photo based. One is kind of similar in style to the Toke Oracle or the Zoracle, where there's not any collage
Hmm.
work done, But then
Okay.
there's also one that is my most recently started deck, which is working with photo collage and manipulation.
Okay.
Because, like I said, it wasn't originally my aesthetic, but my tastes have been changing, and I've started playing around with the
Oh,
photo
same.
manipulation and collaging, and I'm
That's
loving it.
awesome. Yeah, no, I would have said the same thing when I first began, getting different kinds of decks, that photo manipulation and photo collage would not be my thing, but now I'm really all about it. I love it. I think
Hmm.
it's beautiful. It can, be very beautifully done.
Absolutely.
So, okay.
And then the third one is the one I mentioned, is in the kind of in the similar style to the Zaney tarot.
Gotcha. Okay. So Beth is like, wait, I'm confused. What's this deck? What? What deck? I'm sorry.
Which deck?
I missed that. I'm so sorry.
This is the Zaney Spirit, if that's
That's
the
the
one
Zany
you're.
Spirit. Then there's the Zany Tarot, which was the one before this.
Yep, which is more like animation, like drawn animation, computer generated animation.
And it also feels more modern, I would say. A lot of the cards,
I agree.
it has more of that kind of modern contemporary feel with some
Yeah,
of
and
the
there's a little bit of,
main characters.
political.
Yes, like the Justice card, I think
Yes,
that's the one that's
my
very,
favorite card in the entire deck.
yeah, spot on. So yes, there's and then you have the tarot, the Toke
The
tarot,
Toke Witch Oracle.
which Oracle. I keep
And
thinking
there's,
Zoracle. That's the only.
right. And I mean, you can call it the Oracle. I
Yeah,
even call it the Oracle at this point.
yeah,
And there's two versions of that, the
right.
original
There's
and the revised edition.
right.
And then there's the revised edition with the original backs, just for anybody who liked the original backs and wanted to keep them for the revised version.
Right. So Beth, this one, so the one with Sebastian as the fool, that is the Zany Spirit
Yes, the Zany
Tarot.
Spirit
The
Tarot,
Zany Spirit
which is the
Tarot.
most recent.
Yeah. And that should be in the NPC preview, because I think they show like the first, what, like 4 or 5 cards, or it's
Yeah.
not random. It's the very first.
Yeah, I think it's the very first 4. So Sebastian will be the
Yes.
first one that pops up if you click the
Sebastian, that's
preview.
adorable. Okay, wonderful. And then, so any like other decks that you are, aside from your own, that you're kind of currently working with, that you're in love with, you
Yes.
want to give a shout out to?
So I'll just pull it out of its bag real quick. It is the Four Hoxa Tarot.
Oh, I've seen that one.
And it's
Seen that
just a
one.
stunning deck. These are the backs, and it
Yeah.
is a bigger deck. It's more oracle sized, but it
Yeah.
is a tarot deck. But
God,
it's
I love the
just
edging. Oh, beautiful
off.
color.
I edged it in orange to match the like the orange that's in the
Yeah.
back of the cards.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to edge a deck in orange forever, and I never had a deck it would work with until
No,
this
it's
one.
perfect. Yeah, it's the perfect complementary color.
So here's some of the images from this. It's a very it's fae based because it's set in a fairy realm called Forhoxa. That's the name of the realm. And it's just
Oh, it's
stunning
beautiful.
artwork.
Stunning.
And I love the entire water suit is mermaids.
Yeah.
And I'm a mermaid freak. Like
Yeah.
here's the Elder of Water who's been coming up for me a lot in readings.
Wow. Yeah, I just feel like that the large size of that deck is probably a no-go for me. Like, I just
Oh,
don't know how
really?
to be able to, yeah, I just small hands. I don't know how to be
Gotcha.
able to. Thank you so much. That means a lot, given that this is my first go. So,
It's been wonderful. You're doing an
oh,
amazing job.
thanks. And so are you, Zane. We're good
Thank
there.
you.
All right. So, okay. And then any decks on your wish list?
Ooh, how much time do you have? Oh gosh.
Yeah, there's no time limit. So,
I had a list written out at my desk, and of course I don't have it anymore in front of me. Um, let's see, there's the Dark Grimoire. That's one I can remember right off the top of my head.
okay.
Um, ooh, the Spirit Keepers, the new version of the Spirit Keepers, because Jamie did a reading for me with the Spirit Keepers, and it was amazing. So that's probably at the very top of my list.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a good one.
I want to get the Labyrinth Tarot just because I know it's probably going to disappoint me and have pippish minors, but just because it's Labyrinth, I have to have it.
So I was kind of debating on that deck as well. I saw I think it was, I mean, there have been some walkthroughs, but I specifically saw Levi from Intuitive Masculine. Oh my goodness, musing. I forget his channel name, but he was talking, he was showing it, and it is pippish. It is definitely pippish, but I like pip decks. You know, I personally like them, and I just only saw Labyrinth for the very first time like a few months ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I grew up
I
with
don't know
that
how I
movie.
missed that memo. I don't know how I missed it, but I missed it. And it was so much fun. I loved
Isn't it?
it. And, you know, and Sarah from Sunset Bow Tarot and Heather, they were kind of talking about like just the different like nuggets that you find that are actually quite deep and quite, you know, that you really can just kind of chew on some of the themes that are a little bit darker, more serious than you would think for like I guess like is it a children's movie? I don't even know.
I mean, I feel like it's masked as a children's movie.
It's masked, but I feel like, yeah. So yeah. So that's why I am kind of a little bit tempted on that one, but
Me
I don't
too.
know. Those themed decks sometimes, a lot of times are very hit and miss for me. So, but I do understand. So thank you so much. Mwah, mwah. Love
And
you
a
all. You
lot
guys
of
are so
the
supportive.
these newer decks that are coming out are by the same person that did like the
Yes.
Labyrinth Tarot, like the Disney Villains, the Nightmare Before Christmas, the Supernatural Tarot maybe is by them too.
Yes. It's,
And I've been a little disappointed
yeah.
with the flip throughs. Because if you're going to be,
I think it's Minerva Siegel is the creator.
I think that's right. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
But I was a little disappointed because if you're going to be a pip deck, then own that and be a pip deck.
Yes.
But it's like they have scenic minors mixed with pip minors, and that's what bothers me.
Right. So it's like some of them do have like the mix, like Nightmare Before Christmas, I think was a mix in Supernatural. And then some are just straight out more pip than anything.
Right.
I think they've been better. I think they actually heard the complaints and they have been showing like at least one card from the minor. So you do get a sense of whether, but it's almost like you can just assume. You can just assume that they're going to be pippish if it's from, you know, that kind of collection. But yeah. So, all right. So I think that is really it for me. Anybody else in the live chat? Ange loves Labyrinth. Yes, absolutely. So do I. I wasn't sure, you know, because when you're watching a movie like that from an adult perspective, you know, sometimes it's like, you know, people love movies like that for the nostalgia when they watched it as a kid, but then but, you know, so I was like, I don't know. Am I going to like it? Or am I just going to think it's silly? But no, I actually really loved it.
And it holds up. It's like,
yeah, it does hold up. It definitely
such
does
a good
hold up.
movie. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Yes. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. So let's see here. I think that's it. If we don't have any more questions.
Yeah, I don't see any coming through.
Good. All right. So we will wrap up. Want to say, Regina, dance, magic, dance. Yeah, that sequence was a little bit, it was odd. That's the one where just David Bowie just kind of bursts into song after sitting there looking like blasé. Yeah, I was just like, what just happened? What just happened? So, but anyway. So thank you all. Thanks, Jen. And thank you everyone for coming on and joining us for this chat. I really hope you enjoyed. I certainly enjoyed. And thanks to Zane.
Me too. It's been a blast. Thank you again so much for having me.
Absolutely. All right. Well, if anybody else wants to come on my channel, then let me know, because apparently I'm not terrible at this. I'm not terrible. So
terrible is the last word I would use.
Oh, thanks. All right, everyone. Well, I hope you have a great day or evening wherever you are, and see you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.